All right, we actually had some news yesterday out of Commander Land that I wanted to discuss, B. When Washington traded for Deebo, they got him for a fifth, and it was pretty obvious that wasn't a lot of draft compensation for a player of Deebo's caliber, right? Now, Deebo last year went for a little over 800 yards. Not a massive season by his standards, but he's only 2 years removed from an 1,100-yard season. So when he had no guaranteed money on his deal, you had to kind of figure, okay, my guess is Adam Peters and Deebo and his representation, when they make this trade, have had some level of conversation of like, yo, we're going to take care of you. We'll figure it out.
Yeah, but I think Deebo had gone to get out of San Fran, and then you look at the fact that the compensation wasn't much. You bring a guy here, you're not just looking at 1 year.
Well, it is just 1 year.
I'm just saying it could be a possibility of something going forward, depending on how he plays.
Sure.
Which I've seen Adam and Dan do now. Everybody's on to prove it to us, not just because you were. Show me you still are.
So here's how this all works. So Washington guaranteed $17 million with another $3 million available in incentives. Now, what could have happened, they owed him a $15 million option bonus by the end of the month anyway.
Uh-huh.
I guess what day is today? The 21st?
Yeah.
They'd owe him
20th.
All right, they owe him that bonus by Saturday. So they were paying him 15 no matter what.
Uh-huh.
Now, the advantage of the 15 is they could have spread that out over 2 seasons for a cap perspective. But by guaranteeing the money for this year, it's 17 mil for this year, and then you can be done.
Yeah.
So they are, like, for folks that are like, oh my God, I can't believe they guaranteed him all this money when they didn't have to.
They'll pay him anyway.
For what Peters cares about, the cash, the actual cash, the check that Josh Harris has to cut.
Yeah.
You were paying 15.4. Now you're paying 16.6. And Deebo feels a lot better because now he's got guaranteed money. And if it goes sideways, you're off the hook at the end of the year.
So it's nothing. The whole thing about it is, I don't think most people understand this whole salary cap thing. It's basically like when you play Monopoly. You have to be able to manipulate it, and that's what they're doing. And the money that's being paid is already money that's kind of token. You know, he's supposed to be getting it anyway. And I think whenever someone sees somebody giving him money, stop thinking on this stuff according to where you are right now, because the money that's paid is astronomical to these players.
Yeah, I think one thing that's important that Peter said at the combine is like, you know, the work that the guys at Over the Cap and Spot Track, the work they do is incredible, and it really gives fans an insight into the ramifications of the salary cap and how it all works. Like that is real. But this is not the federal government. Like, you can't put a FOIA request in and find out how much they're paying the president of a state university. This is all private. Like, the only details that get out are generally when an agent or an agency wants them out.
Yeah.
Like, and so we don't know the super fine print on this stuff. What they did here, in my opinion, closes the door on one potential problem. Not even problem, but like, say Deebo starts hot. Say Deebo has 5 touchdowns in the first 8 games, and his role in Kingsbury's offense is what a lot of us thought it could be, and he looks really good. Because I remain really bullish on the Deebo move. I think Deebo and Cliff's offense could be brilliant. And
I agree.
And I also think some of Deebo's statistical decrease over the years had to do with the arrival of Christian McCaffrey. Regardless, so let's say Deebo starts hot and 5 touchdowns through the first 9 games. You might hear about not having guaranteed money on the deal. You might. Players, whether you hear it from Deebo or not, that topic might get broached.
Yeah.
It just might.
But he got it now.
But now he's got it.
Yeah.
Now, does the issue of if he's playing great, what are you going to do for next year come up? Sure. That's a good problem to have.
That'll pop up, but you know what? If he's playing very good, you might want to start discussing next year. is not just a player discussing it and having an attitude with it. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
So if he goes out and do what he wants to do or what he's supposed to do, that stuff will take care of itself.
Now, the questions that you have kind of furthered. You got Terry McLaurin going into the last year of a deal with no guaranteed money on it.
Uh-huh.
Now you got plenty of time. And Terry for an NFL receiver, for a star NFL wideout, may be the most mature dude at that position in the NFL.
Could be.
That's a position of people with lots of opinions, Brian.
Yeah,
I would say. And I think Terry will continue to handle this professionally, mature. But Terry's going to want guaranteed money on his deal. That you saw what DK Metcalf just got. They're the same draft class. It's a pretty easy comp. I think Terry and his representatives are going to be like, yo, just, making sure you saw this.
Well,
that is also coming.
I think they've already done that.
Right.
I don't think it's just coming. I think they've already done that. They've had conversations, and I think a lot of this stuff, they're going to make sure it happens. They're going to take care of it. And they know they don't have to worry about him becoming this public person doing silly stuff.
I agree.
He's not going to be, Terry took the commander's office social media. He's not doing nothing stupid like that.
I mean, I totally agree with that.
And I don't think that makes a difference any damn way.
Now, what about another guy they traded for, and Laramie Tunsil? Tunsil does have some guaranteed money this year.
Yeah.
Tunsil, it's not some. He's got $10 million guaranteed this year. That's not nothing.
Yeah.
But what we've heard from Houston, and Houston ain't Washington, and this situation isn't that one. Things change. Things evolve. Life is fluid. But whenever he's approached contract time, he has been pretty clear he wants to get paid.
Uh-huh.
I begrudge nobody for getting paid. But getting Deebo's deal done opened some doors to other conversations, not in a negative way, but it just does. And then I wouldn't to me, this doesn't rule out a Hendrickson move or anything else. There's plenty of things they could do. It's interesting that getting the Deebo deal done in the structure they did actually kind of increases his cap number in a way, but it's a lot of this is just robbing Peter to pay Paul. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like you're taking more money on this year, so next year you have more open spots.
Yeah, and then next year they may have other people to deal with. You know what I mean? It'll make it easier for them to deal with stuff. My whole thing, bro, I don't care who they give any money to. All I'm concerned about, build a damn good team for this year and go out there and compete.
I think that's what their focus is, right?
Yeah. I mean, listen, I'm not going to sit up here and worry about who's making what because I don't control any of it. And none of us control any of it. So if somebody makes a little bit more money, who cares? They're going to have the amount of people under contract when the time comes. And all that matters is when the first kickoff happens in regular season, you got the best football team possible that you can get for the money.
Sure. Simple game, man. I think yesterday's news wasn't a surprise. The previous indicators I had gotten from sources in Ashburn were it's nothing. When they made the trade is when I asked, like, oh, you're going to rework the deal. And the answer then was nothing pressing.
Uh-huh.
We're probably, that trade was the week before free agency. And now, we're 3 weeks after. So that's about 3 weeks ago. Now, Deebo Samuel is expected to address the media today. My guess is that will happen after we are off the air. So it'll be interesting to talk about that tomorrow. I did specifically want to get – I texted J.I. last night. J.I. Halsell used to work for the Skins in the front office. He's NFL agent. He understands this cap stuff. He believes they might add some void years on the back end of this thing, but that may no longer be the case. I think for fans, I think there's this desire to know all things about the NFL in a way that probably doesn't exist with other sports.
Uh-huh.
I guess maybe we cared with the Nats about all the deferred money because it hindered their ability to sign free agents. But you think Mets fans are stressed about Juan Soto's contract structure?
No. It's like my buddy I told you what my buddy said. Football fans are different. They want to know and wouldn't understand it if they put it in their face.
Right.
They want to know and then they think they know. You know why? Because you will say something, somebody else says something, then they think they know more. Just like when guys start telling me about all the stuff they know, they start using all these football terminologies. I have one question. What does it mean? If you can't tell me what it means, stop using the damn terminology. If you don't know exactly what's going on, stop trying to act like you do, because you don't.